Okay, looks like we're live on Movie Crap. Hey, what's up? It's Jim, and here we are on Oscar weekend. Not talking about Oscars this time because they haven't happened yet, and I think I've exhausted everything I can say about that. So anyway, sorry about my lateness. Kind of got a late start, and then YouTube with the COPA and the streaming thing is annoying to say the least. How's it going, everybody? Happy to be here today on Movie Crap. There's a ton of movie news this week, but there's some major movie news, including two pretty big award shows, or at least award shows that people consider. Oh, Ryan's here, Ransam Films here, Austin's here, Nathaniel Fogel's here, Courtney's here, Jordan Sofalafalo, whose name I don't probably say right, and Catbot are all here. Thank you for being here. Again, sorry I was a little late start to it. But yes, it K-Master. Saber's here. Nice to see you, Saber. Alright, so this is going to be a bit of a different one as I have no segments. So basically we're doing news. I might say some things I've watched. I guess that's a segment. And then questions and so forth. Pretty much everything we have in the title I'm going to talk about. And we'll talk about the Indie Spirit Awards and the Razzie Nominations as well. I sort of saw Adam Sandler's speech, but I was running out of time and I didn't want to keep you guys waiting any longer, but I saw like a minute of it and it seemed funny. And he's if you've seen the MTV Movie Awards before and his acceptance speeches, regardless if you like his movies or not, his acceptance speeches are always really funny. Anyway, so oh yeah, Nathaniel Foga is at HarmonyCon. I hope that's going well. Alright, so before we get started, just a reminder that how do I look in this? Oh, I look okay. Alright. Okay. Little frazzle. Okay. Oh, Ransam Film with the first super chat before I tell everybody about the super chats. So thank you very much. Cheers to you, Ransam Film. So before we start, let it be known that this show and my channel and all the content I create is supported by viewers like you, basically. If you are financially able to do so, then I very much appreciate the support. Just watching or liking is frankly awesome as well. But if you are able to do so and support the show and let me continue to make great content, I'm assuming, or maybe good, I don't know, then either do a super chat during the show, or support my Patreon, which is listed below in the description. There's lots of nice perks and rewards and things like that, and that's all in there. Anyway, thank you very much, everyone who is able to do so during the show, and thank you, Ransam Film, for being the first one during the show. Alright, let's get into this. So the first thing I want to talk about is Sam Raimi doing Doctor Strange. Possibly. He's in talks. Officially. He is not, despite I think a few sites have decided he's just doing it. It sounds like it's likely, if they're reporting it to the degree they are, that sorry, I saw Ryan's thing in the chat. It made me laugh. Sorry. Okay. Thank you, Ryan. I thank you. Okay. So if a major trade reports a director is in talks, it means serious talks. It means the studio's like, this will probably happen, because they really don't like reporting on deals when they don't. Like most studios don't want that out there if they've just like had a lunch with him or something. So this is actually something that might happen. Sam Raimi hasn't directed a movie in 7 years since that Oz the Great and Powerful thing. I think this could be really cool. Because he is not only a horror director, he is one of the horror directors. I mean, Scott Derrickson, I know, has said, has been really happy because, I mean, if anyone's going to replace you, wouldn't you want someone, a horror legend like Sam Raimi? He's also a superhero movie legend. He also made the greatest superhero movie sequel of all time. He also made two of the greatest sequels of all time. Those, of course, being Evil Dead 2 and Spider-Man 2. He is just a complete legend. He's a great director, and I think he would work in the Marvel thing so well, because if you look at those Spider-Man movies, they're effectively, and this is going to sound stupid, but there's more to it, they're effectively what an MCU movie would be. They are Marvel movies, but oh, I have a super chat. I am planning a show Sunday. Want a video link if I record. I don't know if I'll get to watch it on Sunday, Ransom Film, but if you send me a past recording, I would be happy to watch it. Thank you for the super chat. Because Sunday's the Oscars, so I'm like busy watching that. But anyway, sorry. I think the MCU movies very much look like, the flow of those are kind of what Spider-Man and Sam Raimi's Spider-Man set up before. And with that, with the person who set it up working, and Feige worked with him on those films when he worked for Marvel, when it was just a licensing company. So he very much already knows Sam Raimi. And he loves Sam Raimi so good at Steve Ditko stuff. There's so many things that Sam Raimi's perfect for with this movie. I think it could be really great. I think, no offense to Scott Derrickson, but I think it'll be infinitely better than the first movie, although I really like the first movie. There's been interesting things about that. First, the Iron Strange suit. Apparently that was going to be in Infinity War. That seems too on the nose, since the Doctor Strange character in the movies is such a close ripoff of Tony Stark, like a lot of that character stuff. So, oh, hold on. Austin sent a super chat from Canada, by the way. I didn't realize Austin's from Canada. I should have realized that, because it says CA on there. Hey, you stole that guy's pizza. Thank you for that. And Ransom Film says, I met Sam Raimi. He was cool. I told him I want to direct, and he called me his brother in film. That's really classy of Sam Raimi, and congrats to you, Ransom Film. Cheers to you again. Yeah, that seemed kind of lame, the Iron Man thing. Then the writers of who wrote the first Doctor Strange said nothing was really written. There's no real script. So it sounds like if they're doing this is very much a Sam Raimi film. It's not going to be a Peyton Reed scenario, which I think is a better scenario, frankly. Also, Marvel has just pretty much lost the Russo brothers because they want to do their own stuff, and all their major directors. So I think they're probably looking for pretty big directors to like kind of fill in those shoes. And Sam Raimi's a perfect person to do that. He has the experience. He's very well regarded. He's made 2 great superhero movies. He might have made Spider-Man 3, but that's Avi Arad. So I think if this works out, I think it would be great. All this stuff about Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man showing up, I don't really think they would do that. If they're going to have Sam Raimi, I think they will do that maybe later, if he's really in the MCU and everything, but I don't see that happening in Doctor Strange, although the multiverse of madness, there's the possibility. Sure, I get why everyone's excited. I think we all just want Sam Raimi to do a Spider-Man movie, and everyone wants Tobey Maguire to come back, but let's not cross that a little too much. I know there's been that poster, but like, to me, it's like Sam Raimi doing a cool horror superhero movie is enough for me, but this makes me more excited for this project. And I think, honestly, I honestly think it's something that will really work out for Marvel. It's something they really need right now. Also, another super chat from Ransom Film. Thanks for the notes on my short. We'll finish soon. Thank you very much, man. And good luck with your short. I hope it works out. When it's finished, you should let me know, and I will tweet it out. Since we're talking about it on here, might as well let people see it. You know what I mean? Whenever it's done. But anyway, I'm going to go through the Super Bowl things because there are Super Bowl ads, and it probably won't take very long because I didn't really watch. There's Super Bowl movie trailers at least. Anyway, cheers to you, by the way. Thank you. So, kind of the biggest one of the biggest ones was the Disney Plus Marvel shows one. You got kind of just Loki, a shot of Loki, so cool, I guess. It looks like Loki's going to be back. That'll be neat, but I think that one's coming out the furthest away. We got glimpses of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which looks really cool, which I think is coming in the fall. Disney Plus is going to have a ton of stuff coming in the fall. Although they've only given us like month dates. It's like October, November. I'm like, that's not a date. That's a month. Like, give me a real, like, October 12th. Like, that's a date, you know? Anyway, it looked cool. I was surprised they did so much, like 3 different shows at once, like the WandaVision stuff, and which I think WandaVision I've seen more GIFs and pictures of on the internet, so maybe that hit a little harder. But to me, Falcon and the Winter Soldier was the one that piqued my interest the most, and Loki I was sort of like, cool, that's there. The Minions Super Bowl ad, or Minions, so I'll just talk about the Minions, because, like, whatever. I'm not talking about the Minions twice. Come on, you know. Does anyone really want me to talk about the Minions twice? Oh, it's August. Falcon Winter Soldier is August. That's cool. Yeah, I'm excited for that. Anyway, so the Minions Super Bowl ad, I don't love the trailer or anything, but the ad seemed like crappy. Like they didn't think about cutting a Super Bowl ad. They thought about making a trailer, and then they're like, oh, we got to do this fast, and had like this bad voiceover, which I didn't understand like why it needed that. It was like probably the worst trailers, and not because I'm not a huge Minions fan, just because it looked like it was legitimately bad. It wasn't good. It seemed like a rush job from a studio that I, expect a little bit better from. I don't know. But the trailer looked fine. It just was weird to me. Like, why are we calling this a Minions sequel and not like Baby Gru Adventures? Like, I don't really get that. Doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. Thank you for the super chat. Ran Sam Film. Sam Raimi is a very versatile director, and I agree with that. If you've ever seen, I think it's A Simple Plan. That's a great movie. Cheers to you. But I agree with what Daniel Fogo is saying, is that Sabotage does fit the trailer, trying to do this 70s thing, but I just don't get like why it's a Minion sequel. It should just be Baby Gru Adventures or whatever. Because focusing on Gru a little bit more than the Minions, I get like chronologically it comes after the first one. I'm also worried about this because I feel like my daughter's going to want to see this movie, and I don't. It makes me sad that she'll have seen a Minions movie and maybe like the Minions, but I'll have to get over that. I'm sure then I will like the Minions because she likes it, because I'm that kind of dad, I guess. But I'm not excited for it. I'm just going to tell you that. I'm going to see it and just probably sit there like I sat through the first one and go, I don't get it. Like, this is, you guys all like this? And they're like, shut up, leave the theater. Other things in the Super Bowl thing, I think the biggest ad, which is movie related, was the Groundhog Day ad for, what was it, Jeep? Something, who cares? Point is they made a Super Bowl Jeep ad, I think, car, whatever, with Bill Murray. It was because obviously the Super Bowl was on Groundhog's Day, so it was topical. And a couple of people did tweet like he because Bill Murray really hated Harold Ramis after he didn't really like Groundhog's Day, and now he's like in this commercial, and a lot of people were calling foul on that, which I agree with. It's cool seeing Ned Ryerson and Bill Murray's brother, and I thought it was actually kind of a nice ad. It reminded me of what I like about Super Bowl ads, is kind of gives you that thing to talk about with, your coworkers. It's a, water cooler moment. Bill Murray, you never thought he would actually do it. It's like, it was the ad I wanted to see. I saw it. It was fun. What do I call my fans? I just call them amazing people, right? That was lame. But yeah. Oh, Ran Sam Film just saw Hairspray with John Waters. Corn? I'm confused about that, but that's cool. I'm glad you saw Hairspray. I hope you enjoyed it. Cheers to you, Ran Sam Film. But yeah, it was a fun ad. I enjoyed it. If you like Groundhog's Day, check it out. It's worth the watch, but it's not going to change your life. No Time to Die. I felt like there were a few other shots in it. I still feel like that guy's playing Dr. No. I really don't know who Rami Malek's playing, but to me it's like, it's so Dr. No, like from the sets and all. It's like, that's this franchise's new thing. It's real lame. Hey Eric Movie Buff, how you doing? Yeah, Anyway, it was a nice little ad. I noticed they put a few other like shots in the Super Bowl ad. Same with Black Widow was fine. I totally forget it. Oh, Ransam Film says he watched the commentary. Any John Waters commentary is great, and I'm glad you did that. It's always, if you ever have a John Waters DVD, check out the commentary. They're always amazing. And cheers to you, man. Oh, the F9 Super Bowl spot was pretty good, but again, we got the trailer right before, which I thought was better. Mulan, I still don't get like why there's a wizard and it's not just a simple story. Like, why is it more complicated than the animated film? I don't get it. Whatever. And Top Gun Maverick, I still think if you know, I'm a little older than most of you guys watching, and on my Facebook, I saw a lot of people posting like, holy crap, there's going to be a new Top Gun. I'm telling you that movie is going to play for a long time because because older audiences like will keep going to a movie or won't always go weekend after weekend. I think that's going to be a blockbuster in a way that we haven't seen in a little bit, and I think it's going to look good. But I'm curious about the reception of this. I've seen a couple of people ask about Birds of Prey. There's a video, I shot a review. It's out. Watch that for Birds of Prey. I'm not really going to talk about Birds of Prey tonight, other than the only thing I'm confused about is it's not bombing like that bad. It just, you know, it's under expectations, but it's still like 33 million. That's not bombing. Like, I don't understand why it's getting so much press just because we get, like, it's such a big deal. It's a comic book movie, so you have to make press out of it. It's not that big of a bomb. It's a disappointment, but I wouldn't call that a bomb. Playmobil's a bomb. Right about that. Like, just like the extremes of all this is a little nonsense. That's the only thing I wanted to say. But yeah, F9, I really like, I don't know. I'm excited for this Fast and Furious movie. I think that, you know, after you get past 5 and 6, they're all kind of their own samey quality of ridiculousness, but this does bring back Justin Lin, and I'm excited for that. So let's get to the Razzie nominations. Let's do Razzies and Independent Spirit Awards in a big bing bang boom right in a way. Yeah, I'm going to do that. That's what I'm going to do. I have other fast news, but let's, why did I get these from E? Oh, God. Never mind. I thought I had... See, where's the actual... Oh, thank you, Wikipedia. There we go. Wikipedia is always there for me. Sorry I call it that, but it's just, you know... Izzy mentioned it once, and it's me referencing Izzy, referencing Community. So... there we go. All right, so according to Wikipedia here are the Razzie nominations. Now I want to say with worst picture, there's nothing animated. There's no I don't think any Disney live action movies gotten here. Like, what is this nonsense? This is the worst. I really hate. I generally don't like the Razzie nominations, the Razzies at all, and I think most people don't, because they always like just nominate like the easy targets. Like, I'm glad, hey, like, I get it. Cats should be nominated a ton. That's fine. I don't. Cats. Okay, here, let's go through the ones that got the most. But before I get that I guess the Razzies, my biggest problem is they often don't go through the really horrible things. Like Lion King should be one of the worst movies of the year. It was horrible. It's the worst. You came out with 2 Norm of the North sequels. Where's Arctic Dogs? I mean, this was truly not... I think there were good animated films this year. Really good animated films this year. But I think there's some really bad animated films this year. And why aren't they represented? Like, what the hell? I just think, you know... Playmobil I didn't think was like... It wasn't good, but it's not like that bad. But, like, yeah, Wonder Park. Where's Wonder Park on here? It just doesn't... I don't get it. So Cats got 9 Razzie nominations, with the most. With 8, you got a Medea Family Reunion and Rambo Last Blood, which I think made a couple worse lists. Rambo Last Blood. Oh, okay. Thank you, Ryan. Of course, with the He's Actually Aladdin got a Razzie Redeemer Award for Will Smith. I don't agree with that one, by the way. I don't think he was good enough to deserve that, but you are right. Hellboy, which got 5. An obscure one, The Haunting of Sharon Tate, which really did get was supposed to be pretty bad. I think deserves to be on. I didn't see it. With 3 nominations, you get The Fanatic and Zeroville, which I don't even know what that is. So I'm going to click on it. Is a real thing? I don't even... Does anyone even know? I didn't even hear of this movie. That's... Okay. And then 2 nominations for Dark Phoenix, The Hustle, and Serenity, which I'm a little surprised Serenity's not on here more. But did they have, like, worst screenplay? And Serenity didn't get nominated for that. This is these awards things, too, are just going to be me actually reacting to these things. So this is like, it'll be like to follow me on Twitter tomorrow night. So, up for worst picture are all films that have multiple Razzie nominations. Cats, of course, gets in there. The Fanatic, which Ryan, you should review The Fanatic right now. Sorry, that makes me sound like I'm a weird overlord or something. But tell us what you thought of The Fanatic, because I'm fairly certain you saw it. The Haunting of Sharon Tate, A Medea Family Funeral, which I forgot came out, and Rambo Last Blood. That's for worst picture. For worst for worst director, we have Fred Durst for The Fanatic, James Franco for Zeroville, Adrian Grunberg for, I don't even know who that is, Rambo Last Blood, Tom Hooper for Cats. I want Cats to sweep. Cats should win everything. Neil Marshall for Hellboy. But if Cats, if there's an award Cats isn't up for. Anyway, for worst actor, you get James Franco, David Harbour for Hellboy, probably deserved, Matthew McConaughey. I didn't see Serenity, I sort of wish I had. Sylvester Stallone, which the Razzies love to nominate. And then John Travolta for The Fanatic and for Trading Paint. I don't know what that is, but cool. So here's where things get weird with worst actress, because I think it's pretty obvious. I don't know what The Haunting of Sharon Tate is. I've never seen it. I've heard it's bad. Did not know that that they cast Hilary Duff as Sharon Tate. That's whoa. That already sounds so bad. Why would you cast Hilary Duff? I don't understand. Now I kind of want to see this movie. I don't know. Ransam Film, again with the super chat, said, I saw Rambo Last Blood and gave it a decent review. Okay. I heard some people liked it. So anyway, cheers to you. Thank you again for the support, Ransam Film. Anne Hathaway got a nomination for both The Hustle and Serenity. Not a great year for Anne Hathaway. And, and then her next movie is supposed to be bad. That's going on Netflix. Sucks for her. Francesca Hayward for Cats. I mean, I kind of just want to give it to her just because I want Cats to win, because Cats needs to be as notorious as possible. Rebel Wilson, Tyler Perry, stupid. God, the Razzies are even annoying to read their own things. It's James Corden got one for supporting actor, not deserved, because where's Jason Derulo? Fuck you guys. Seth Rogen for Zeroville. Tyler Perry got nominated twice. God, you guys are the worst. Ugh. How does the worst award show... the Oscars are already pretty bad, but the worst award show... Shouldn't you, by default, be good? But you can't even do that? Now I don't even want to read this stuff. But Godzilla King of the Monsters got worse. Prequel, remake, ripoff, or sequel. That's not even that bad. Worst screenplay. Why was Serenity not in there? Whatever. I'm already sick of these. So I don't get the Razzie Redeemer Award. Keanu Reeves. I don't think he's already kind of come back a couple years ago, so I don't even get that one. I guess Jennifer Lopez, Eddie Murphy, but Will Smith for Aladdin? God, for a movie that's about bad movies, the Razzies has real bad taste. I just can't. Oh, and Rebel Wilson got 2 nominations, one for worst actress and one supporting. Whatever. The Razzies suck. I can't wait to read who won. And if it's not Cats, how is Norm of the North not up in here? I mean, this was Norm's year, man. Norm of the North not getting nominated for the Razzies is like the Adam Sandler of the Oscars. It's anyway. All right. That just didn't make me feel good reading those. It's like so disappointing. Can someone like fix that stuff? Like, ugh, stupid Razzies are so awful. All right, sorry. I'll stop complaining about trying to scroll up on this Spirit Award thing so I can read off talk about the Spirit Awards. So, my thing with the Spirit Awards, my thing always has been with the Spirit Awards is, you know, I used to actually watch the Independent Spirit Awards like in the night. Hey, oh, here we go. Saber Spark said, "How dare they speak poorly of Godzilla? That movie was solid." I don't think I liked it as much as you, but I agree that was too far. I caught it. I liked a lot of those battles. Anyway, cheers to you, Saber. Thanks for fighting the good fight against the Razzies. We'll take them down together. And Ren Sam Phillips said, "Remember, Stanley Kubrick was nominated for a Razzie. That's true for The Shining. I'm serious." Anyway, cheers to both of you for those super chats. Thank you very much. These drinks are giving me energy. I hope it's not gross watching me drink that. No one's complained, so I'm going to assume everyone loves it. Okay. So the winner of the Best Feature at the Independent Spirit Awards was The Farewell, which is very well deserved. I'm really happy that won. I think that's a great movie. Best first feature was Booksmart, which I surprisingly did not get to see and really need to. I've been really wanting to. I should do that at some point. Anyway, sorry, I got kind of sidetracked. We'll go back to my rant, I guess. Is my problem with the Independent Spirit Awards is, so I used to watch it in the 90s and the early 2000s, and the things that were nominated were things that would get like a Oscar nomination. You know, they would only get one, and that was it. You know, and from the Oscars, and then they would get like a ton of stuff at the Independent Spirit Awards because they were quirky and weird, and they were sort of under the radar. Like Memento got a ton of Independent Spirit Awards. I think it got one Oscar nomination. Same with like Happiness and stuff like that. And I'd watch it and go like, whoa, these are so different. I'd be writing the movies down. I'd be like renting stuff to be nominated for the next year. Releases to home entertainment were slow then. And it would be exciting and thrilling. And now it's just like, oh, cool, the same movies we've heard talked about in the awards circuit over and over again. And I actually complained on Twitter like a bunch of years ago at the Independent Spirit Awards. This is actually true. The Independent Spirit Awards tweeted back at me, and I didn't even at them. I think I just wrote like the Independent Spirit Awards mean nothing nowadays or anything like that. Yeah, and they tweeted back like, you know, it's about independent spirit. It's not just about financial, even though the term independent film is just a financial term. They've just used it as a marketing kind of thing, but it's really just a financial thing. It really should just be called art house rather than independent, but whatever. But yeah, and we had a Twitter thing back and forth with someone who actually, with the official Independent Spirit Awards Twitter, which was weird since they came at me and I didn't at them. But I kind of don't take them as seriously as I used to, because I think there are a lot of indie smaller films that are just going to VOD or on Netflix or play festivals that we never get to hear about. And it used to be you'd get to hear about those and the studio stuff and the smaller independent studio stuff. But usually this is just indie movies with movie stars gobble up this whole thing, and it's not as exciting as it used to be. I can't say. Anyway. Can't wait to discuss the deep layers of the Kids' Choice Awards next month. Oh, the Kids' Choice Awards are going down. They should just cancel it, because, you know, this guy in his 30s is going to totally take them down on his live stream. Well, watch out. They're scared. Anyway, the Safdie brothers won Best Director, which I think is well deserved. Seems like they spread it out a bit. Renee Zellweger won for Judy. I guess that's an independent film. Adam Sandler won for Uncut Gems, which I agree, he was really great in that. Best Supporting Actress, Zizou Shuzin from The Farewell. Yeah, that's zero. I'm surprised she wasn't nominated. I would have gone with Jennifer Lopez, frankly. Did you win on that tweet fight from Ransam Film? I thought I won. I forget. I've tried to scroll back on it once, and I was like, that's too far, so I didn't. I remember doing pretty good, but we did have a back and forth for a little bit, and I was like, holy crap, what's going on? Anyway, cheers to you. Best supporting actor Willem Dafoe, which I really like that. That's such a cool performance. I mean, he's basically playing like the sea captain from The Simpsons, but he's still really good. Noah Baumbach from Marriage Story. Don't know if I'm really feeling that one, but sure, whatever. Best first screenplay, I think, is for something called See You Yesterday. Didn't see it, but why not? Best international film, it's for Parasite, because this is independent. Documentary, American Factory. Best cinematography for The Lighthouse. I think that's well deserved. That's an awesome movie. I hope that wins the Oscar, but I don't think it will. Actually, some interesting. They also nominated Paul Proglovsky for Midsommar. There's some cool nominations in here. Anyway, best editing for Uncut Gems, which I also agree with. And then the Robert Altman Award went to Marriage Story. The John Cassavetes Award went to Give Me Liberty, which I think you have to be under a certain amount. And then there's a thing called the Bonnie Award, which went to one of my favorite directors, actually, which you get an unrestricted grant for $50,000, and went to a director I love, Kelly Reichardt. That's very well deserved, in my opinion. All right, maybe I shouldn't have done those right back together. I don't know if I'll get to really watch the show, although I have heard Audrey Plaza was good this year. I forgot to DVR it. That's on me. If it's playing after the stream's over, I'll probably watch it. But I should have DVR'd it. Yeah, clearly, I used to make it a point, the night before the Oscars, I was watching the Independent Spirit Awards. It was happening, and I'd even watch it twice because I had no life. And but I don't know if I'll see it this time, which is disappointing because it seems like I probably would like who won, but I just read who won, so I'll probably forget while I'm watching it. I'll be like, oh cool, Uncut Gems won Best Editing. Alright, so in other Fast and Furious news, because that's what you want to hear about after you go through the Independent Spirit Awards, is Vin Diesel has said that he wants Fast 10 possibly be cut up into 2 movies, which would technically make it Fast 10 and Fast 11, but whatever. No one's sure if this will happen, but apparently a couple of the people who helped plan out Fast and Furious have said that Vin Diesel, who is a big Dungeons and Dragons player, does sort of plan out these narratives far in advance. He's kind of the big producer on it. The Fast and Furious movies are stupid and ridiculous, and if they wanted to have the 10th movie be cut up into 2 parts, I'd be like, why not, guys? I would like them to be cut up between 2 different years, so it'd be 20, guess we're getting one this year, so what do they take, a 2-year break usually? So it'd be 2022, 2023, or 2023, whatever, it doesn't matter. It'd be 1 year and then the other. I want it that way. I don't want a Matrix sequel nonsense thing. I think that would be cool. But no doubt my Superman. Ryan, you're really funny tonight. I don't know why. Anyway, you're making me laugh a lot. Oh yeah, that's true. Last Witch Hunter is based on his D&D character. Thank you for Rand Sanfield saying, I think you're cool. Thank you. Thank you very much. Cheers to you. But supposedly there's kind of rumors that may or may not happen. We'll see, but I think Fast and Furious, it would be perfect for that to happen if it does happen, but we'll see. Supposedly in the Disney Plus call, they brought up that the possibility of Mandalorian spin-offs. It's sort of weird because in my mind, The Mandalorian is a spin-off, so whatever. I think it just means they're going to probably develop more. Wait, what? Sorry. Sinram just made me go, holy crap. Okay. I kind of want to watch this movie right now. See You Yesterday is a Netflix time travel movie about a kid who's trying to save someone from a drive-by shooting. That's a good idea. Fuck. Now I'm jealous. That's a cool idea. I think I remember sort of hearing about it, but that... Damn, Sinram, you just, took me out of everything. Fuck. I'm going to look up that movie tonight. I don't think I'm going to get to watch it tonight, but that sounds cool. That does sound really cool. Okay. Anyway, so that just I was like, whoa, that sounds interesting. I'm gonna have to see that one. and review it. That sounds cool. Anyway, so the Mandalorian spinoffs, Disney has said that they are planning Mandalorian spinoffs. We don't know what character. People have said Gina Carano's character. People have talked about other characters. I just think they'll probably make more Star Wars shows. It's a solid thing to do because because Mandalorian, like I talked about in the reviews of Mandalorian, I've talked about before, is basically like Bonanza or Gunsmoke. It's like a Western TV show just with Star Wars. You just do that, I think it can really work. I also think, like, look at the test footage of Star Wars Underworld or Under whatever it was. You know, this is the thing. Whatever it was, the test footage they made for the show that never happened. You could do a lot of different kind of shows with Star Wars, but I think that would be I think there's a lot you could do there, and I'm sort of excited for Star Wars TV shows, but it'd be cool if they're all Western shows, because I really like that. I think that's effectively sort of what Star Wars is. It's a samurai or Western thing. I think that could really work. I'm excited for it. Yeah. Sinram says he hasn't seen it. No, I'm excited. I will talk about the UFO thing, which I realize now I need to find, because I keep forgetting the name. It's not my script because I'm stupid, and it'll be fine. Okay, so it was revealed this week that the Hamilton... so basically, it was revealed this week that Disney has bought the filmed live performance of Hamilton that they're made into a movie for $75 million, which includes... You know, they bought it outright. It'll be on Disney Plus. They'll own all the rights to it internationally, all that stuff. And unfortunately, will not come out until next October, which I was a little surprised by, because this thing was filmed in 2016. So it's, to my understanding, thank you for the title of that, Will. Anyway, I was planning on. I didn't forget. I just forgot the name. Anyway, they apparently filmed it in 2016, the Hamilton movie, or 27. They filmed it a while ago, and it's probably done. Supposedly, it's different from if they just filmed the whole cast on stage, which I think the cast is fairly tremendous. So I understand why you'd want that cast together. People are saying, like, will this really make enough that it's worth $75 million? I think it could, especially if they, like, had a bunch of angles and, like, really got into it a little more. It is also, maybe they realize that they will never really be able to get a movie with the original cast because they're all, you know, in so many different directions at this point. So they want to preserve this and shoot it the best way possible. We don't really know much about, like, or we've seen any test footage or trailers or anything what this could be. I agree it could be a blockbuster. I'm assuming the reason they're delaying it is so they can get more people to see it live. I still think people will see it live, but I'm curious, like, what they have planned for this. But it was a lot of money. $75 million is a ton, especially for, like, a filmed musical. So I'm really curious what this take is that Disney felt strong. Apparently people were saying 50 was the standard because Hamilton's so huge, which I would understand 50, but 75, like, holy crap. It might have just been because, like, if you have the filmed, you know, version of Hamilton on a streaming service, people will watch that. So I think it'll do well. I'm just curious because they're acting like it's a little more than just like, hey, we put a tripod down and filmed this stage musical real good. Like, what is this extra thing? I'm very curious, but that is a lot. We'll see what happens. A lot of people are talking about Star Wars Detours. I don't think that's the spinoff I'm talking about. I am surprised Disney Plus hasn't just, like, put that out, or even their Disney Channel app, Disney Now, which I don't understand why that's not folded into Disney Plus. Like the Rocketeer, the new Rocketeer show, which I've seen some articles go up about recently, talking about how cool it's a cool show, by the way, which I've talked about before, but, like, that's not on Disney Plus. Like, you can't watch that right now. I've not seen it on Disney Plus. So, which is weird because you're like, well, why wouldn't you? Because when you want word to spread about your own properties, I don't know. I think they should just not have Disney Now. It should all be Disney Plus. I think that would be a better idea. In quick Mystery Science Theater news, the cast of the reboot Mystery Science Theater, being Hampton Youth, Baron Vaughn, and Jonah Ray, are doing a kind of live riffing show, Destroy All Movies, is going to be on February 22nd. It's only one. It's only one performance, but I hope they do a tour like so many riffing combinations of Mystery Science Theater casts have done. That would be really cool since they have their own sort of riffing style. If they do that, I will see them. But it sounds like they're sort of maybe just developing it, but it's happening. I'm seeing a lot of people. What was it? Yeah. Lauren Jones says, I'm happy about indie stuff on Netflix. Yeah, I'm happy about that too, and I agree with what you're saying, is it is harder for people to see that sort of stuff. They need to advertise it a little more. That's my one problem with it, because something like High Flying Bird was a small film that I really liked that Netflix put out, but like most people don't know about it. So I wish they'd advertise it more to people who like would like that sort of, or with High Flying Bird, people who like basketball, like maybe they would have checked it out. I don't know. They just need to, I feel like YouTube's a lot better at this stuff than most people are. And they made they just revealed like how much they made in a year. It was like a lot. It's like a couple billion. I meant to write that down. It didn't, whatever. So there's a lot of concern about the future of Fox after the president of production, Emma Watts, left. She's fairly powerful. She's done a lot with her career. But when she left, that's kind of a big thing because now they're 20th Century Studios, and it seems like she's going to have very much less to do. And they're not really sure what they're going to do with 20th Century Studios, as it's called now. Disney seems to be a little lost on what to do with all these properties. Seems like they just wanted all that stuff, but don't really have a plan. And she was just like, I'm out if I can't really make anything. And I kind of find that to be a shame, because you could do a lot of like smaller stuff since you have like so much more infrastructure, but it sounds like they're not going to do that. So if Fox is in a weird spot right now, or 20th Century Studios or whatever, like it seems like what's now just going to be called Searchlight is fine, but 20th Century Studios, I think, really doesn't really know what it's doing right now, because they only have a couple films out a year now. It's like, why did you buy them if you're going to do that? Why don't you make smaller, weirder stuff if you have this thing? Like, it's kind of sad that they're not doing more with it. It's, we'll see what's going to happen. Yeah, and the Bob's Burgers movie, Ryan, you're right. I'm curious what's going on with that too. It seems like they don't really know what's going on. Disney seems to be a bit of a mess with everything that's not like Marvel. So Apple, two kind of streaming service news here. One is that there we go. One is that only 10% of people who are eligible to sign up for Apple Plus have actually done so. And those are if you get like a new Apple product since Apple Plus is launched, or I think a little bit before, you get Apple Plus free for a year. And only 10% of people have actually used that offer. Apparently it is not signing up a lot of people. That makes sense because Apple Plus does not have a library. They're just having like the morning show and stuff like that. Like they don't have anything real new. Or they don't have like, they didn't buy the rights to anything older or anything like that. So apparently I haven't even used it. I sort of don't even really care about it. I would if the morning show was on another network, I probably would have watched at least an episode. But it's doing pretty well. It's not doing very well at all. It's doing pretty poorly, and it just doesn't seem like it's... Apparently people are saying like they might consider leaving the space completely or buying Netflix later, since Netflix does have an insane amount of debt. We'll see if that happens. So the bigger news, and let me just some water, in streaming, is Disney Plus. Disney Plus has... as of right now, according to them, so probably totally true, since they're the ones telling us their numbers now, because that's how entertainment news is becoming. That's depressing. But Disney Plus has 28.6 million subscribers accounted for. Apparently some of them are from the Verizon deal, so like how much they made off of it, they calculated correctly, which, hey, that's a little honest, I guess. And 10 million people signed up in the first week. I think you're seeing that because Disney really did push that streaming service when it was starting up. A lot of people have said Netflix probably isn't worried because Netflix has way more subscribers than that. But I think I think that does sign a signal that Disney is growing their service. I think they're growing it in the right way because most families I know have Disney Plus and like want to watch, want to watch the Disney movies and have access to all of them, and it's worth it for that kind of a service. I do think their original stuff they need to beef up a little bit more, but when the Marvel stuff really starts hitting in August, then it's really going to hit. And if they do it like, right when Falcon Winter Soldier ends, Mandalorian starts, it'll just keep me coming back to it. But I do feel like I'm only really watching it at this point because my daughter wants to watch stuff. I don't think, what? Children of Toast? I'm confused about that. But I do think they sort of need more original stuff and more interesting stuff that's not just, their library, which I think is a library that people rewatch over and over again, but they really need to start building that stuff up. It's just, they can rely on that library and Apple Plus can't, and that shows you like what's almost more important because you see those like cheaper free apps on Roku and other services, streaming services, and they have tons and tons of content, of any original stuff. And apparently a lot of them do very well. So it seems like a library is almost most important, as well as you can download this stuff right to your phone. I've watched some Darkwing Duck that way, things like that. So that makes a difference how user-friendly it is. All right, so in Shaun the Sheep news, there's going to be a Shaun the Sheep Christmas special, and it's going to be on BBC and Netflix next week. I'll say, Will sends a super chat. He says, as soon as Stargirl releases, I'm out. So that's it for Will with Disney Plus. I'm not surprised. I know he's excited for that. I might try to check that out. Anyway, cheers to you, Will. Thank you. But yes, there's going to be a Shaun the Sheep Christmas special. It's going to be on BBC and Netflix. Next week, the new Shaun the Sheep sequel, Farmageddon, will be on Netflix. I'm excited to watch it. I don't know when I'll have a review out. I need to rewatch Shaun the Sheep, the first movie, because that was pretty good. This is pretty much the future of stop motion as I see it, because even like admitted it in that interview I talked about last week, and Aardman is clearly heading to Netflix, that stop motion is just going to be a streaming service thing. I'm fine with that because nobody is going to the theater to see these movies, and they need support and financial backing, and at least those streaming services are willing to do that. I think that's cool. But I'm excited for that. I think it's a good place to be on Netflix, because Netflix has big Christmas movies every year. Like Klaus this year, the Kurt Russell Santa Claus thing a couple years ago. Thank you, Ryan. I didn't know it was on Prime. Thank you. I will consider that one. Thank you. That was helpful. But it's a good place for both stop motion can get some eyeballs, and Christmas with Netflix works really well, because I'm going to be honest, there are a lot of times I was wrapping presents and I would just have it on. So I think that really works. I'm excited for that. It's going to be cool in 2 years when that's a big hit. I think I'm excited for the future of Aardman on Netflix. I think it's going to be really positive. All right, so Quentin Tarantino for a bunch of times has talked about what happened to Rick Dalton after the events of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He's come up with a even more thought out explanation, because he's thought about it a little bit more, and it's kind of cool. So I was going to read it. The whole incident with that flamethrower and the hippies got a lot of play. No one quite knows what a big deal that was, but it was still a big deal. And it's a big deal that he killed him with the flamethrower. Sorry, spoilers to this movie. If you don't want to know, if you haven't seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I guess come back in a minute after I'm done reading this. And it's a big deal he killed him with a flamethrower with the prop from one of his most popular movies. He starts becoming in demand again. I mean, not in demand. Michael Charazon at the time was in demand, but he's got some publicity now all of a sudden. And the 14 Fists of McCluskey is playing more on Channel 5 during Combat Week and stuff. So he gets offered a couple of features, low budget ones, but studio ones. But the thing is, on the episodic TV circuit, he's a bigger name now. He's not quite Darren McGavin. I wish I could do a Tarantino. McGavin, all right. Darren McGavin would get paid the highest you get paid as a guest star back at the time. But Rick's about where John Saxon was, maybe just a little bit higher. So he's getting good money and doing the best shows. And the episodes were all built around him. So as opposed to doing Land of the Giants and Bingo Martin, now he's the bad guy on Mission Impossible. Ooh, that would be cool. And the show, not the movie. And it's his episode. Oh, and he does a Vince Edwards show, Matt Lincoln, or a Glenn Ford show, Cade's Country. And that's a big deal because he did Hellfire, Texas with Glenn Ford, and they didn't really get along. But now they can bury the hatchet and make a big deal about the two guys doing it together. And he does a couple of Paul Wexigo TV movies, and, he's doing okay. So it sounds like he had a career resurgence, but not like the one I think everyone sort of thought he would. I heard all crazy stuff like, oh, he would have been Steve McQueen, all this stuff. It kind of insinuates he'd be something, but I like that Tarantino was like, hey, he at least got a second chance. He wasn't doing just spaghetti westerns forever. Well, to be honest, that sounds really cool to me. I like spaghetti westerns, but what do I know? Anyway, so this was a cool article on Hollywood Reporter. I tweeted it out. There's Hollywood Reporter has been really great lately, but the articles they're putting out this week, I want to talk about two of them. One was about an actress who disappeared, who I kind of don't know enough about that, and I didn't tweet that one, but that one's good as well. And I forget the name. I should have written that down. Sorry. Oh well. But this article is about Ashley Boone Jr. He was the brother, I believe, of Sharon Boone Isaacs, who was the president of the Academy. But he was basically one of the reasons Star Wars happened. He was a publicist who basically was like, wait, I think the Star Wars thing is going to be something. Let's put it in major cities on this weekend. We'll roll it out this way. Like, he had a whole vision on how to release Star Wars and how to promote it and how to get some steam behind it. I don't think he knew it was going to be what it was in terms of success, but he really believed in it. And this is something that my belief with Star Wars and with a lot of huge successes is there's a lot of people behind the scenes that don't get utilized, that don't get recognized the way they should. And especially with Star Wars, when I was doing the Marshall Lucas video essay, check it out. I'm very proud of it. I think it's one of my best videos. But that I learned there's like such great editors and special effects work and sound designers and people in the executive level and so much interesting stuff going on with Star Wars that isn't just George Lucas. And although I think he had a big contribution to that, I've long wanted, I could make a whole video series on cool people who helped make Star Wars who we don't talk about. But Ashley Boone Jr., I had no clue about this guy until I read this article. It's really interesting. Try to go check it out. Just go to my Twitter and scroll down. I tweeted it. I think it's an important article to read, and it shows you like how important everyone is in the filmmaking system on making a movie happen. And he deserves more recognition because, like, seriously, he really does. He really does. It's a great article. Check it out. Anyway, sorry. I have another great article. I'll talk about it later, but whatever. So Clerks 3. Clerks 3 apparently is almost going to entirely take place at the Quick Stop, according to Kevin Smith. Clerks 3 sounds sort of interesting. I think it could bring people sort of back in. I haven't seen the Kevin Smith, the reboot. Is that on a streaming service? I don't know what the deal is with that. I wouldn't mind seeing it. I've heard it's like sort of alright. But I think like if Clerks 3 was on Netflix, it could potentially be a big hit. And specifically if it's like them making a Clerks movie within a Clerks movie, I think that could be cool. So, but supposedly it's going to take place in Quick Stop. Cool. Warner, they've announced that HBO Max is going to have a specific arm of Warner Brothers called Warner Max that will only develop things for HBO Max, like movies, specifically movies. This isn't that surprising because Warner Brothers has for a long time had smaller divisions that make VOD stuff and like stuff for various different kind of streaming and on-demand services. The Banana Splits is an example of that, and the Velma and Daphne, I think, was that as well. So they are always set up to do those certain things, but apparently they will have a specific studio arm to develop them, and it'll be called Warner Max. So in news I'm confused about. So first it came out this week. This is movie related. I'll get to it. is that the show The Conners is going to do a live episode during the primary, one of the primary Democratic elections, and they're going to react to the results live, which is fine, I guess. I didn't think it was a great idea. To be honest, I actually am a big fan of the show Roseanne. Not a big fan of her as a person currently. And my opinion on her is basically she used her, she had a great show she could always fall back on, that she had like one of the best shows of all time, sitcoms at least. And, you know, as horrible as she was, she'd always have that. And I think she pushed that line too far. And she was always like kind of pushing that line, but also, you know, don't be racist maybe. I don't know. But I think she just always thought it was cool to like push the line, push people's buttons, and she just did it in the wrong direction. The Conners has never been, or the reboot Roseanne was never great. The Conners, I think, isn't that great either. It sort of got great and got close to being pretty good the last episode of the reboot Roseanne. And then they kind of bungled the ending. So it was like, whatever. I kind of just have, that's a background show for me. I'm a big Roseanne fan. But anyway, so apparently I talked about the live thing. The Conners are actually going to react to the Oscars between the show, like before the commercials or something. ABC's going to cut to them being like, oh man, that Joaquin Phoenix sure is a joker or something. I don't know. They're going to react to stuff. I don't know. That sounds like such a bad idea to me. And I also don't think the Conners would. I think they might watch the Oscars, but they don't seem like they'd be that passionate about it. I don't know about that. That sounds really bad. I'm not excited for that. I noticed they didn't announce until Friday. This is clearly a late in the game decision. I really hope they only do it like twice, but it sounds like they might do it more. But I just don't, and I feel bad. Like, John Goodman's such a good actor, and I feel like that show has gotten a little better, but not good enough. And they're like doing this stunt, and it's like, I feel like you could make the Conners good. Like, I really do. I'm not just like because I'm too much of a fan of the original Roseanne show, but I feel like if you got a good writing staff, you really could make it good. And this is like, as soon as it sort of like, I felt like this past season it's sort of gotten a little better. It's the best the reboot's been, at least, but I really wish they would do something better with it. But this is like such a bad idea. I mean, the election thing, I was like, I guess for an episode, whatever. But anyway. So a Knives Out sequel is definitely happening. First, Lionsgate kind of confirmed it in an earnings call. And then Rian Johnson sort of confirmed it. And supposedly he said basically what Knives Out is going to be. Yeah, the sequel is Daniel Craig's character comes back. No one else does, but... he's going to have like a whole new cast, whole new location, things like that. I don't really love the Daniel Craig character that much. I sort of like everyone else. So it could be cool. I'm a little surprised he's made Knives Out into a franchise, but Lionsgate's into it. I'm also surprised that, Disney let Rian Johnson go and is letting another studio kind of make him, give him a franchise. So I feel like his Star Wars trilogy... Especially, like, before I was like, maybe his Star Wars trilogy isn't dead. And then I heard about the sequel and go, I don't think his Star Wars trilogy is happening. But we'll see about that. No, nothing official. I don't get the vibe. He's too down to come back to that. But we'll see. Maybe he'll do a show. Who knows? But I think, it's interesting that there's going to be a Knives Out sequel. But apparently it will be, the only character that will come back is Daniel Craig's. In terms of, Frank Oz, that's a good point. I would be happy if Frank Oz came back. That would be cool. So if you're aware of this kind of famous film history thing of this train arriving in the station, someone remastered it for 4K. And one of the things I love about movies and film is that you kind of get to see what it was like back then, which I find to be, photography does as well. But you get to see what it was like back in, whatever era it is. And I've seen that train footage before, and I do watch it and always think, what was that like? What was that person thinking? But always felt like sort of removed, because it's a film that if I were Hey, Alex is here. How's it going? If I were to shoot that, it would look different. and someone mastered in 4K, and it looked like someone shot it like now, and it was such a bizarre feeling. Try to check that out. It really took me aback, because I've rarely seen a restoration of a classic film that made me go, whoa, this feels more real to me. It felt like there's a reason he did that. I thought it was really great. Hold on. Let's see. What do we got left here? Not too much. Yeah, not a ton. All right, so let me drink some water. Got some RIPs to talk about, and then a few things, and then yeah, not that much actually. So I want to, I guess we lost Kirk Douglas this week, who is one of the great actors in Hollywood history. Helped sort of make Stanley Kubrick by insisting he direct Spartacus. He, I know he's 103, and everyone's like he lived a long life, but he really was an actor who, he helped break one of the actors who helped break the blacklist. He helped make so many big directors and actors, and he was always doing challenging, interesting work. Ace in the Hole is my choice. It was the film that really inspired that episode of The Simpsons where Bart falls down the well, but it's so much darker. It's really cool. That's Billy Wilder directed it right around the time of Sunset Boulevard. Kirk Douglas is amazing in that movie. I love Ace in the Hole, Detective Story. I know Paths of Glory, Spartacus. You're going to see those anyway, but check out Ace in the Hole. It's a really cynical take on the media, and it's still very relevant. It's a wonderful movie, and I love Kirk Douglas. I think he's a great actor. Just a sad loss. I know he probably wasn't going to act anymore and all that stuff, but it's still sad that he's gone. It felt like he was always around. He was always very old and always around. Also, Orson Bean sadly died last night or this morning. He was 91. He was killed in a traffic accident. I became aware of Orson Bean from Being John Malkovich, which he was really good in. I'd always like it when he showed up in something. To me, it was like, oh, that guy from Being John Malkovich. Saw him in things like How I Met Your Mother. I know he was on The Twilight Zone. I've seen him in countless other things. I always thought he was a great character actor. He had sort of a unique mannerisms. He was definitely like an old guy. I always knew him as an older guy. I know he did other stuff, and I think I'd seen his Twilight Zone episode, didn't realize it was the same guy. But he was great. He was a great actor. It's sad that he's gone because I don't know, just because he put out such great work. He was such a great character. It's just sad. It's sad when anyone dies, but it's sad because it was sudden and it was tragic, and I don't know. He always played such a kindly old guy. I felt like he deserved better than that. So that's unfortunate. CBS, hey Jacob Shelter, CBS All Access. I feel like that was a bummer. Anyway, CBS All Access. Apparently Viacom CBS, who just merged, are not exactly sure what to do with CBS All Access. Although I previously talked about how Viacom was kind of just going to provide content for other streaming services and just do that. They are actually seriously considering maybe making CBS All Access more than that. It is, and like put all their properties and put Nickelodeon there and everything like that, although it would take forever and they've already signed streaming deals and it'll be a whole big mess. But hey, Disney Plus worked out, so let's do that, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, they're seriously considering making Disney Plus kind of to rival things like HBO Max and Peacock and Netflix, of course, and Hulu and all that stuff. We'll see what happens with CBS All Access. I don't think that's going to happen, but it's interesting they're entertaining it. I think their business model right now is a much better one because they can kind of wait out the streaming wars and see who wins. Think fast, Malkovich. Thank you, Austin. Cheers to you. But yeah, it's interesting they're going that route. I kind of hope they don't, because I think they have much better opportunities, especially because a lot of these streaming services are taking a while making original stuff. I don't think Disney would hire another company, but the other ones are, and they should take advantage of it while they can. So, I think it was last week, about Brenda Chapman, who directed Prince of Egypt and Brave, but then was fired by Lasseter, who I'm sure for creepy reasons. And although people have said that's gotten mixed reviews, I don't know what's going to happen with that film. I don't know if it has a distributor or not. I'm sure Will probably knows and will correct me in the chat, or someone will. But apparently she has a new project that blends animation and live action. Disney does own Hulu, but it's a separate stream. It's fine. Don't worry about it. But Brenda Chapman has a new project that combines animation and live action. It's apparently with Lucy Luna. Ghosts are more than just... For Lucy Luna, ghosts are more than just a family business. Ghost Squad, which is the name of the movie, follows Lucy or whatever, and her best friend Sid, two outcast kids living in famously old St. Augustine, Florida. In efforts to right a past wrong, the pair cast a spell that accidentally awakens some malicious spirits right before Halloween. Together they must join forces with Sid's witchy grandmother, Babette, and her tubby-tabby Chunk to fight the haunting head-on and reverse the curse to save the town and Lucy's fiery ancestors before it's too late. That sounds kind of cool. I like that she's combining two live action and animation. I think that could be neat. I think she's got the right I don't know, it'd be a good way to show off her as a director. I'm still curious to see that like Peter Pan Alice in Wonderland movie that she's doing. So Gareth Edwards, in case you forgot about him, he directed Rogue One, he directed Godzilla, and he did Monsters, which is probably better than both those movies, and nobody talks about it, and they really should. It was pretty cool. But he finally has a new movie. It's an original film, an original sci-fi film. We really don't know much about it, but at least he's kind of getting back out there. I think his name kind of got thrown in the mud a bit, and people thought less of him because of what happened with Rogue One. I want to say one thing about that is that is bullshit, because Gareth Edwards was very much there for all the reshoots of Rogue One. He participated. He didn't fight the studio. Everyone else who has that problem fights the studio and throws a fit. Gareth Edwards didn't do that shit. He hung out. He learned his lesson. He said, this doesn't work. Can we have someone else come in? And he worked with the studio. I think that's pretty commendable. Not a lot of people would do that. Everyone else would throw up a tour theory and all this stuff. And this guy was like, let's make this movie good. And he worked with them. And hey, maybe, I don't know. This is crazy, right? Maybe that's why that movie worked better than Solo. I don't know. I'm just saying. But that was more Disney just fired those guys. And that was the dumbest idea. Only a few more things. So Chaos Walking is finally getting a release date. I don't know if you're aware of this. It's like a dystopian future where everyone can hear your inner thoughts, which that sounds like horrible, but whatever. It's finally gotten a release date of January 22nd, 2021. It's been delayed a lot of times because apparently they did a test screening and it was considered unwatchable. It stars Tom Holland and Daisy Ridley, but apparently it is officially going to get a release next January. Not a good sign. Robert Downey Jr. apparently has switched agencies and agents and is looking for new representation after Doolittle. Surprise? No? I think it's not really a surprise after Doolittle. I hope he becomes a great actor again. He really has that potential. He has terrible taste in developing projects. Please do not develop any more projects. That was awful. Supposedly they're making a Monster Mash movie. Universal's developing too many of these like team up movie things. It's like quite ridiculous at this point. And I guess last news story, there's actually another really good article in Hollywood Reporter about how there are not enough black hair and makeup people, and most hair and makeup people do not know how to do makeup or do hair for black actors and actresses, which is a serious problem. You think that wouldn't be the problem? It is. I think it's actually very sad. I hope that is. I wish that wasn't the case, but it's like I think Hollywood likes to act like it's a little more diverse than it is, and this clearly shows they are not, since they don't have the proper hair and makeup teams for the actual actors and actresses who are employed in these shows and movies. I think is a shame, and that shouldn't really be going on still. I think that's like not cool. So anyway, check out that article. I tweeted that out today, and if you're watching this later, just scroll down. It is there. Before I do Patreon questions, let me see stuff that, what was I gonna say? I don't know if I'll have any more reviews from the Best Picture nominees. I was thinking about maybe The Irishman at some point, which I didn't even really like. I have shot reviews of Ford v Ferrari and Marriage Story. Marriage Story I don't think will ever come out because I seem to have more opinions on not liking that movie as time goes on. So I don't know about that one. But I do think the best film that's nominated for Best Picture is Parasite, far and away. You know, I don't know. I've been watching. Is there Quibi news? Quibi made other things, I guess. Let me see. Oh, I don't know if you knew this, but I'm a big fan of the show Unsolved Mysteries with Robert Stack. Apparently, most of the episodes are on YouTube, which I recently found out. I was watching it through a weird app, and then I found out YouTube has like everything. And there's like one mystery I'd always like remembered, and it always sort of freaked me out because it was about I'm going to tell you this because we don't have a segment, and why not? And then I'll do some stuff. I am sick of hearing about Night. I'm sick of all even though it's a shorter Oscar season, you still get sick of it, don't you? So there's this mystery in Unsolved Mysteries where there's this truck driver, had no criminal history, no history of drugs, was like this honest, hardworking dad, truck driver. Most of what he was known for was not really wanting to wait. He wanted to finish his job so he could get home to his wife and kids. That's the only thing. That's it. And so he called his wife the night before, said, I love you, how are the kids? And then the next day, his truck was driving through a campground, and then he kept getting out and like talking nonsense, and he was like hitting a $20 bill on a rock together, trying to light a grill, and there was no grill there. And then when the cops found the truck in the middle of a field, they couldn't find him, and he was lost like forever. And even I think in the show they go, UFOs maybe? I don't know what happened to this guy. And apparently they found a skull 2 years later, but they're not even sure if it's his skull. And that always haunted me, and I found that episode. I was really proud of that. And that episode is even scarier because they still don't know what happened to this guy, and it just haunts me to the end of my days. And I shouldn't even talk about Unsolved Mysteries because it's dark, and it's going to be hard for me to go to sleep. Anyway, I'm a big Unsolved Mysteries fan. I just love that show. At some point, I might do a list of Jim's favorite Unsolved Mysteries, but I realize my favorites are like really sad ones, like this person walked into a field and disappeared and there's no knowledge of what happened to them, or this horrible murder happened and these people got away with it. So I think that'd be depressing. Hey, Izzy's here. Every time I watch Unsolved Mysteries, I get hit with the tidal wave of nostalgia. That sound design sends me back to my childhood every freaking time. I agree. Same with me. So it's nice to see you, Izzy. I will edit that thing I said we talked about last week. Anyway, so I have a Patreon question, then we'll get to other questions. Thank everyone for the super chat this episode. It's very appreciated. I'm sorry I'm scaring you guys. But yeah, it was just, I'd always wanted to see that mystery again, and it's also hard to watch that show because Unsolved Mysteries really likes to show you family members who are really upset and crying that their loved one is like murdered or missing or something. And now that I have like a kid and a family, it's like, oh, I know how horrible that would be. Wonderful. Anyway, so here's the Patreon question before we get to the other questions. Sinram, any Oscar nominee this year that would be a shocking surprise to you if they won? Shocking surprise would be if anyone won Best Actor except for the people that everyone thinks will win all the acting awards. That would be the real shock. To me, a shock that I would love. Not if Klaus wins, I'm sort of expecting that. So not that. But if Lighthouse won for Best Cinematography, I think that would be wonderful. I would be so happy. I would be like, yay, this is awesome. I think that would be kind of the one, if there's any. All right, so... Oh, good job, Izzy. All right, so I'm going to read off some questions. I think Jacob No, first question is from Nathaniel Fogel. Question, how's 2020 been for you so far? It's pretty good. I feel like I'm feeling good about this year, so it's feeling good. Question, how would a live-action Lilo and Stitch work? It wouldn't. It's a terrible idea. Please don't do it. To me, yeah, isn't it just E.T.? Like, it would just be E.T. at that point. I just think it sounds horrible. I don't know. Question, how do you feel about the other podcast members explaining Kingdom Hearts in the last podcast? I was fine with it. I don't know. I don't know anything about it, so it doesn't offend me. I don't know. Ryan Walterson, who's afraid of the big bad wolf? Big bad wolf. Big Pebble. Not me, that's for sure. Anyway, let's see. I read Izzy's question. How did Crash win an Oscar? People voted for it, I guess. I don't know. It doesn't really make a lot of sense, but yeah, that did happen. Ace the Wind Rider. We didn't have a Flicks Friday unless did you forget or did I not see it? Anyway, if I didn't see it, I apologize. If you forgot, it's cool. I need milk and cookies. Okay, well, I don't know. Tyler Bibley. Question: if you were to make a sci-fi anthology series that would be your hook, what would be your hook to give it a distinct identity? Oh, that's a good one. If I was going to do a sci-fi anthology series, I would probably actually like it to be, first off, written by sci-fi authors and not just TV writers, because I feel like a lot of the people just want it to be that. When we used to have these shows, you'd have Ray Bradbury and sci-fi writers. I'd do that, and I would have it maybe a host in their study or something, so you could do all Ray Bradbury's show. I actually like how that show is open to all sorts of different things. I don't think that show is actually that good, but I think it would do it that way. So you could jump around between different genres and different ideas of sci-fi. That's probably how I would do it. Zyth the Pest says, aren't all unsolved mysteries sad? Not necessarily, but they don't make you feel good about yourself. Anyway, question: how do you knock a force? And you just barf on trains forever. Ella Kazari, thoughts on the new Monster Mash movie reportedly in development at Universal? I thought I just talked about that, but it doesn't sound like the greatest idea. And Universal also has a Monster Squad remake and a thing with Paul Feig with a monster team up thing. So I'm a little confused. How are they going to have so many of these in a row? Sounds like they're just developing them all, and whichever one takes is going to get made. But we'll see. Monster Mash is an awesome song, so I get it to a certain point. But I'm glad you asked that question, because I don't think I really said it that well before. Yeah, what Izzy said, guys. Podcast was shot a month ago. We don't even remember what we said in it. Yeah, that's Izzy's right. Sam Ram, you haven't seen The Lighthouse? Come on. Jim, please don't read that out loud, please. Oh. I think I did. Sorry. I can't answer that one. What are some of you and Sophie's favorite books and movies? I guess she's really into Princess and the Frog. There's that one. We actually go to the library quite regularly and read a lot of books. But I know she likes Room on the Broom. That's a big one. People seem to like the podcast. I'm glad, by the way. Courtney asks, I just watched Uncut Gems the other day and I was so stressed out while watching it. I bit my nails pretty bad. Did you feel stressed out while watching it? I did. I don't, it was kind of interesting because I feel like the movie and the music isn't that stressed out, but you get stressed out by him, and then it kind of calms down and he relaxes at his home. It is a weird flow of a movie, which I sort of love about it, to be honest. But it didn't stress me out that much, but I understand if people did. Is this a movie based on the song? Yes, it would have been based on the song. Zoidberg. Did you hear that Jeff Liu is making more Killer Bean? Did not hear that. That's cool. Do you need me to explain Kingdom Hearts to you? I don't understand it, so maybe. Will says, if Doctor Strange 2 works out, would there be interest in rejuvenating Salem's Lot project or World War III? I think Salem's Lot would probably be a better project because of the Stephen King rejuvenation, and I think that would be a good project for him if he did it, but I feel like he might just... I feel like Marvel wants him as a career director. I feel like that's probably what's going to happen, to be honest. Questions, is Sophie like Baby Yoda? She's never seen him, so I don't think she has an opinion on that. Would you ever watch the entire Kingdom Hearts series and review it as a movie? Probably not. Sorry. Is it true that Disney owned people's souls and turned them into Disney princesses? I've heard that. I don't know if it's true or not. Do you know the what? That's weird. Ransom Films asks, if I write a horror script, will you read it and where can I send it? Sure. We can talk about that off the... Just message me if you do that. Not plausible. What's in the box? What's in the box? Funny. Oh, I did? Damn it. Damn it. That sucks, Ace. I'm sorry. Yeah, I did miss it. And I checked my mentions a couple times, too. Question, what are some good dance moves? I am not the right person to ask that. Don't ask me that one. That's, hold on. A question, are there weird, gross movies that you found yourself feeling connected to on a personal level? Mine would be Swiss Army Man. Probably Pink Flamingos. Pink Flamingos actually means a lot to me. It was like a big film in my development of film history and everything like that. So, yeah. Oh, I didn't mention this. Thank you for Jacob Shelter for bringing this up. Thoughts on Infinity Train getting a DVD release? I wish it was a Blu-ray release. Apparently, if this sells well, they will do a Blu-ray release, which to me is bullshit because by that point, it'll be even further removed from the show. I might get it because I just love Infinity Train, but I wish it was on Blu-ray. But I will probably still get it just to like support and because I love that show. I just want to be able to watch it anytime I want. I kind of hope there's a box set of both book 1 and book 2, but I wouldn't mind if they're separate individual sets. Is fine. What other dark secrets is the nostalgic critic hiding from Austin? I'm curious. I feel like there's probably more. I don't know what it is though. Question, what are your thoughts on True Romance, directed by Tony Scott? I actually watched it recently when I worked on the Lost Film File about Quentin Tarantino's, what was it? That movie? Something birthday. Whatever one that was. Sorry. Oh, My Best Friend's Birthday. That's it. I did rewatch it. I like it. It's sort of weird because it's like watching a Tarantino film written by Tarantino, not directed from him. It has a weird flow, but I sort of like it. It's like Christian Slater sort of oddly works. I don't know how. What? Sinram? Why are you telling me all this stuff? What happened to the animation you and Izzy were making? I did not realize till last week that I needed to edit that audio, and I totally forgot, and I'm going to do it this week, and it's my fault. So that's what happened to it. I'm taking full responsibility to it because that's lame of me. Anyway, not plausible. What's your opinion on The Lighthouse being a live-action sequel to The Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack? I do not disagree with that. I love that theory. That's an amazing theory. I'm down. I'm okay with that. I think they would actually, to be honest, it would work very well if you watch them. Oh, and the Mermaid's Candy Wife. That works so well. I'm down for that. Jordan Solaflo, what are your favorite romance movies? I would say, Brief Encounter. Brief Encounter would be on there. As would, damn it. What's the other one? It's like, with Tony Leung. Damn it. It was really good. And I have it somewhere. Tony Leung's in it's from 2000, I forget. But that would be the other one. So, like... Anyway, I'm sorry. You probably don't want to watch this to watch me go, what was that movie that they were in? Anyway, that would be... But Brief Encounter is a great one. That's good enough. Brief Encounter. I would actually also say It Happened One Night. I would say... Casablanca. That's perfect. So, those would be up there. It's not like modern romance. It's like... Anyway, sorry. I'll stop. Just... do you find it hard having a fan base that's younger than you? From Courtney. I actually don't at all. I sort of find it interesting because I actually don't... I'm not as nostalgic for like the things my certain generation is, so I would probably be bored because I'm always confronting different things, so I can do things that are older than me and stuff that's younger than me. And if you notice, I don't... there are some things I'm doing that are like more from my experience, but... I actually sort of like it because it keeps me on my toes. It gives me, a reason to see new movies. And sometimes I'm sort of depressed by my own age group because everyone's sort of becoming a little more conservative and stuff like that. And I find that to be, especially about art and movies, I find that to be depressing. And I sort of like younger families because you guys are interested in hearing things and interested in newer ideas and interested in experimentation and different kind of stuff. And I also find it interesting that previously, in terms of animation, you couldn't talk about stuff that was necessarily like not for like if you're into animation and it was like say 10, 11, 12 years ago, you wouldn't talk about the Cartoon Network shows to that extent. But clearly, like you would just sorry. You'd just be talking about Adult Swim, and that's like totally changed. I find that to be really exciting because people want to talk about the Adult Swim stuff, but they also want to talk about stuff on Cartoon Network, and that's for kids as well. And it feels like there's a better view on art, frankly. Anyway, that's just my opinion. So anyway, I find it really cool. Jim, is my second time watching this. There's no I in Zoidberg. It's Zodberg. Okay, sorry about that. What would you do for a Klondike bar? Man, you don't even know. It's okay, Jim. Lives on in our hearts. I'll try to do it next time, Ace. Tweet me twice if I don't answer. I'm sorry about that. I thought... Anyway. Favorite John Waters film? I feel like I just answered that, but I'd probably asked that before I said that. It'd be Pink Flamingos, Desperate Living's up there, Crybaby, Hairspray, Pecker. Those are probably my big ones. But Pink Flamingos is like such a big thing for me. So, Tyler Bibley, what yet untapped genre would you like to see be used for a movie musical? I feel like they all have, but maybe like, yeah, I don't think there's one that hasn't done that. So I don't have a good answer for that. Sorry. Question, do you have a favorite band cartoon? My favorite band cartoon. Huh. I don't think I do. I think I probably used to, but then when you rewatch them, you're like, oh, that's not like good. Yeah, I don't know if I don't. I can't really think of one that's like banned. Maybe like the Mighty Mouse: The New Adventures. There we go. That's sort of banned, so I would say that one. Sorry, I've done a review of that. What movie genre? Do you less like over time? Did you less like but grow to enjoy? Probably horror. I wasn't as into horror as a kid, and I've gotten more and more into horror as an adult. Do you think Infinity Train will get a Laserdisc release? No, because apparently Regular Show tried, and you can't do that. No one makes them anymore, so it won't be able to. But it would be cool if it did. Did you see a guy put the Nostalgia Critics Raw review as the worst album of 2019? I did not see that, but that is amazing. I love that. Anyway, who's that Pokemon? It's Charizard. Interesting, Izzy. 4 Rooms. That's a little obscure. I haven't seen 4 Rooms in a long time. And I think, isn't that where, like, the women witches or something? It's been a long time since I've seen it, so I might be way off on that. You ever see Garfield and Friends? I watched Garfield and Friends like it was out of style before you were born, son, so don't be trying to educate me on Garfield and Friends. But yes, I've seen Garfield and Friends. Genuine question. Favorite Looney Tune and favorite Looney Tunes Variabilities cartoon? Bugs Bunny. I would say, so like Rabbit Season probably. I'm actually sort of waiting for HBO Max to really get more into Looney Tunes. I used to love Marvin the Martian a lot. I can watch Coyote and Roadrunner any day of the week. But yeah, I'd probably say Rabbit Season and Bugs Bunny. I know those are like basic answers, whatever. Bugs Bunny's awesome. There's nothing to debate. Speaking of romance movies, any recommendation for romance movies for Valentine's Day coming up? I just remembered it. It's In the Mood for Love. That's it, with Tony Leung. In the Mood for Love is one of the best movies. Just see that. That's great. Brief Encounter would be a good one. If you want a fun movie, I would actually suggest a horror movie if your date is into that. But what I say, if you're trying to watch a Valentine's Day movie with, like, someone who you want to spend Valentine's Day with, find a movie that you guys like to watch together. It doesn't have to be a romance movie. What was that one with Rebel Wilson? I thought that was sort of clever from last year. That's a fun one. That's sort of light. But yeah, I would say find one that you guys like to watch together, or a horror movie or something fun that you can like react to and have a good time with. I think that's probably the best answer. Are we all using Jim as I hope that is that true? I hope that's true. Okay. Question: why did the Dark Crystal and Labyrinth not receive much attention in the 80s? Well, actually, interesting. Dark, they both did. They just didn't. One didn't do that well, unfortunately. So I think they both did. It get more acceptance. Why in Labyrinth? I have no clue. It's always confusing me that Dark Crystal did well and Labyrinth didn't. It's so strange. I don't understand that. Have you ever watched, this is from Lauren Jones, have you ever watched Brendan Cult movie reviews? I find his channel similar to MST3K. I have not, but I will check it out. I'm open to that. I'll check it out. Courtney, before I forget, Courtney asked, before I forget, what's your t-shirt, Jim? It looks really cool. Oh, it is a kind of Attack on Titan, X-Men. What? Hold on, let me make sure. I see Will has a super chat. I'll read in a second. It's an X-Men Attack on Titan thing, but I really got it. I don't really know Attack on Titan, but it's more because I love Days of Future Past, the comic. Let's see. Will asks, After Midnight's being released this Friday. Oh, it's a mix of romance and a monster movie. Good recommendation, Will. Thank you for the super chat. Cheers to you. Thank you for that, Will. Thank you. I love you. A question: other than preventing 9/11, killing Hitler, and ruining animation projects across the ages, what would you do if you had a time machine? I don't know. A lot I can't comment on. That's what I'm going to say. I like Val Sunday's suggestion, Sonic movie, duh. If I could go back in time, I'd probably just like find a way to have more money or something. Sophie's not seeing Sonic. I mean, maybe like later if it's on HBO Family or something. But let's see. Sorry. I feel like this has been a little loose. Or like Ryan, Farmageddon for Valentine's, or Get the Fuck Out. That's funny. Favorite South Park character and episode? I've always liked the one where I think it's Kyle. Maybe can only hear like people like shit when he goes to the movies or hears music. That's an all-timer. I think most people love Cartman, to be honest, for his offensiveness. I stand in Kyle. I don't know. It's been a while since I watched South Park, to be honest with you. Not a question, but check out Garf Gab. This guy's reviewing every single episode of Garfield and Friends and ranking them on a scale of 1 to Jim Davis's. I would check out 1 to 10 Jim Davis, 1 to 5 Jim Davis's. Okay, that sounds pretty cool, actually. Question: what the heck is Money Heist on Netflix? My sister kept on asking me to watch it, which I don't. I don't know what that is. That's weird. You loved your child. How can you deny it, the hedgehog? Alright. Remember Tower Heist? No, I didn't see it. Alright. Cool. I think that's everything. Izzy, thank you for being here. I really love these, by the way. I wasn't joking when I brought that up in the podcast. I really do love those things. They're really awesome. Anyway, so use the link in the description below if you are planning on going to MomoCon to see Pizza Party, so you can let MomoCon know that we're going to be there and that you want to see us there. Let me see what else. In the past week, I've put out a ton of videos, of course, because I'm a crazy person. On Monday, I did my Oscar predictions. I'm going to put out timestamp links and repost it tomorrow because it's the last day. There'll be things that you can predict because then there'll just be things with the Oscars. I think I'm going to do a stream on Monday. I'm going to say Monday at 10 right now, but wait for the tweet. Post the Oscars on a tweet during the day to have the correct time because I might change that. And I'll wear a tux. Sorry. Blah. I heard you had started the gift, Izzy. I kind of want to do something myself because I sort of feel bad because you do a really great job with the gift, and I'm like, I need to do something for you because you're amazing. Sorry. Where is it? Yeah. So, but check me out on Twitter. I'll be tweeting about the Oscars while it's going on. So check out that on Monday. I think it'll be a stream Monday night. But yeah, I'll let you know the time. But this week I had videos of the Oscar predictions. A video of Lost Film File, which was the only Lost Best Picture nominee. It's a pretty famous, pretty big Lost film, that a piece of Lost media that no one's talking about, and people should. Did a review of Lamp Life, which I don't think anybody saw that review because I screwed up releasing it. A Sonic 2 time-lapse video is a sequel to the first Sonic video game time-lapse. I sort of like that as a weird experiment. Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey review, and now this. Now you're here, and I helped write and do research for the Saber Starks video on Delgo, so also check that out. Anyway, I will text you later, Izzy, and you have a great night. Everyone have a good night. I think this went on a little longer than expected, but you guys, I will see you guys all probably on Monday. I hope you guys enjoy the Oscars, and I hope everyone has a good night. Check out the videos if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time. And subscribe if you would like to.